PopMart stock is up 600% selling Labubus, those fuzzy dolls. Are Labubus going to change the world forever? Because that's what the market is pricing in.
Let's get into whether or not Labubus are really worth $50 billion today on the Altimetry Authority. Let's talk earnings and favorite pastime.
So let me just say, earnings
Wall
Street.
It's
Why do they
2.5
do that?
x
Because their compensation goes up.
Wall Street's wrong again. Labubus are all of the rage, as ridiculous as it is to have to say that name over and over again, like Joel and I are going to have to this episode. Everybody wants them. Anybody who you talk to who has kids or, honestly, young adults is chasing after them. And that has meant great things for the creator of Labubus, PopMart, the Hong Kong Chinese company that has a US ADR. PopMart recently has seen its stocks hit all-time record highs because the fact that it's now talking about launching mini Labubus and everything else. And yes, Labubus, again, we can say it one more time. Well, look, that has meant because of this fad, the stock has been at a impossible race higher. It's up 600% in the last year alone. And now, just for context, the market cap of this company, over $50 billion. And Joel, let's talk about whether or not
50. I mean, it's 400 billion like Hong Kong dollars, but divide by you're still at 50 billion US dollars. 50 billion for a company that by and large doesn't really make anything else. I'm not saying they don't make anything else, but their whole claim to fame is Labubus. Let me just throw in a couple other words that I think will suggest my thoughts on this: Supreme, Cabbage Patch dolls, Beanie Babies, Pet Rocks. Fads do work, and when they work, they work very, very well. I don't know why you're attacking
Cabbage Patch dolls, Joel. That's very mean of you.
But let's take a look at the uniform accounting numbers, because fads are good for a company. Now, this is under GAAP accounting. It says, all right, the company's had a 2-3% return that maybe has popped to 10-12%. All right, that's decent. Hong Kong at one point, the average company in Hong Kong was a 12% return. Today, it's closer to 4 to 5%. But for a Hong Kong company, that's decent. Now, here's reality. In reality, right, this company is riding this wave into 2024, 100+% returns. They are selling, right,
Wild.
at a high price relative to the cost of goods sold of this Labubu fad, and they're making the most out of it, and I give them credit for that. Now, the Wall Street firms, right, the consensus estimates are that they're going to continue, that this Labubu fad is going to continue a little bit higher, and they're going to continue to get these 100-something plus. I mean, these are like Nvidia level return on assets. Let me just say this, right? This is as high. This is Apple in its best days. Staggering, these return on assets, and even the Wall Street analysts are saying that's going to hold. But to get to $50 billion market cap, 40 to 50 billion, anywhere in that range, right? You need to have returns go all the way to 400%, meaning this Labubu company has to get to a 390% plus return and hold that return in perpetuity forever. Forever. So this is the problem with these fads, right? I mean, at one point, this is what you saw when you thought Cabbage Patch dolls. This is what people thought about that Supreme brand, where people were paying $300 for a brick that had a Supreme label on it.
Well,
I mean, just ridiculousness.
What?
And, that's what's happening with Labubus now. I'm not saying it's not selling right now, but what are the chances it's going to continue this in infinity, in perpetuity, forever, at a 380% return, which is higher than, I don't know, any tech company I can think of, higher than any internet company.
Yeah.
This would put it in the top 1%, not top, the 0.01% of all companies in the entire world in our database for the last 40 years.
And now replace furry little dolls with fangs and big eyes with, say, I don't know, Funko dolls. And let's talk about how the narrative of a Funko Pop, yeah, exactly, how the narrative of a fad comes and goes. I mean, come on. Funko Pop, this is pretty cool stuff right here. Who does not want a Darth Vader Funko Pop? Well, Funko became huge at the very, very beginning of the pandemic, and because of that, return on assets jumped, basically quadrupled in a year. From 2020 and 2021, returns doubled. But then guess what happened? The fad ran out. And guess what happened to Funko stock? Funko stock went from basically $5 in early 2020, all the way up to $25, 5xing, right? Very similar to the 6xing that we're seeing happen right now for PopMart with the glorious Labubu, all the way back down now to $2. Just for context, though, but this is the best part, Joel. This is what I love about this. So Funko at least had the sanity to only ever get to a maximum $1.2 billion market cap before dropping to $160 million market cap. But for a $50 billion market cap for this, Joel, this is just, there's no way that this makes sense, right?
No, this is now, we're not into providing naked short ideas, but if I were going to look at a naked short idea sometime in the next, I don't know, 3 months to 18 months to 24 months, there is no way this company, I mean, what are they doing? It's not like every doll has an AI implant and it's going to solve your, deepest math problems or something like that, or, replace a nanny. I mean, what on earth could these dolls possibly do that it makes the company worth that level of 40 to 50 billion US dollars? It just doesn't make any sense, right? At some point, the steam of this ridiculousness will fall out. It will at some point. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. This stock could go up another 300%. Meme stocks do that, where they just go up because they're going up on pure momentum only. So I'm not saying run out and start shorting it today, right? But at some point, this stock is going to have a terrible, terrible collapse. The embed expectations are way, way, way too high. There's no way what it's doing or what it's selling can possibly meet these expectations. And we just need time to, bear itself out and people realize, oh, it's a fad, like there have been many other fads. And we're going to see $50 billion market cap come way, 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 way down back to earth at some point soon.
Well, if you like that conversation about Labubus and want to hear more about Labubus twice a week, or more specifically, if you'd like to hear more investment research just like this, hit the like and subscribe button, because that's this episode of the Altimetry Authority. Thanks so much, everybody.